Welcome to the Executive Show.
Nothing easy.
An inside look at the Warriors front office.
Can somebody give Bob some credit?
With President of Basketball Operations and GM, Bob Myers, on 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by Stanford Blood Center. Give blood for life.
All right, the Executive Show brought to you by Stanford Blood Center. Give blood for life. The Warriors taking on the Memphis Grizzlies today. Grizzlies 17-2 without Ja Morant, and we'll see who plays for the Golden State Warriors. We know Klay Thompson probably won't play on them back-to-back, as well as Otto Porter Jr. and Draymond Green. Let's bring in Bob Myers. We had to move him up a day for the Executive Show. Usually it's every other Tuesday. Today we're doing it on a Monday at 8:35. Bob Myers, of course, GM and President of Basketball Operations of the Golden State Warriors. Bob, good morning. How you doing, brother?
Well, it's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of layers to that, right? You get these levels to it.
Yeah,
I wish the team was doing better, but I'm healthy and all good. So,
all right, well,
how you guys doing?
We're good. I mean, a great weekend at Chase Center. I got to see both March Madness games. We'll get to that in a little bit, man. It was a great environment at Chase Center, and of course, the draw couldn't have been better. Watching Duke in person was really special. I've never watched Duke in person, but also watching the Warriors recently here, and of course, we've been doing it all season. 1-3 on this 5-game road trip, and the big question that we have today all morning is Draymond Green and where he's at now. He missed 30 games with the back injury, and we've seen back injuries cripple the best of them. Larry Bird, Larry Johnson, the list goes on and on and on. Well, with Draymond Green, and we heard him last night say, look, he feels healthy, but he feels terrible because he feels like the team is getting worse when he gets on the court. I wonder, with 7 games left to play in the regular season, and Draymond obviously not looking like Draymond Green, are there any conversations of maybe shutting him down into the postseason or maybe coming off the bench in a more limited role until he may not be right 100% the rest of the year, but he does look awfully marginalized, and it's not helping. There's no doubt about that, Bob.
Well, the first part of change is acknowledging the truth, and he's the one saying it, right? He's saying, I got to be better. I think he will. I would bet on him. I don't think slowing him down or pulling him back. I think he actually needs to get more time and more minutes to just get acclimated. He was out a long time. And it's such and this isn't an indictment of you guys or the media or the fans or anything. He would admit he's not playing well. But he was playing extremely well, and we were playing extremely well. He still can be that guy. I believe he will be that guy before the season's all said and done. But it's going to take a minute to work himself back into that, and thank goodness we've got this time. He's going to be a lot better a week from today. He's going to be a lot better 2 weeks from today. But the good news is he's not running around saying that he's playing great and feels great and we're not winning. He's a huge part of why we win and why we lose. He's always been that for our team. But I think better days are ahead for him, which means better days for our team. But look, I like somebody that acknowledges the truth and says, I got to be better.
Right.
But he will be. I believe he will be. And I don't think there's anything, Bonta, with the back that's limiting him short of he missed a lot of time.
Right.
And the way he plays, he's got to get back up to speed. And that's more physical and conditioning and things like that than it is his back right now.
Yeah, and to hear him be so candid in the postgame was it took me back a little, to be honest with you. You never really seen him show that level of vulnerability. And my biggest gripe isn't necessarily the physical comeback from the back injury, which is so real. It's the emotional discipline in crucial situations where he goes beyond and gets the technical, the unnecessary one. How do you guys manage that? How does he manage that moving forward?
I think that the thing that he's got to do, he's frustrated. He wants to win so bad. And the situation is right now is he's not, and we're not, and he's not playing as well as he wants to be, and he gets frustrated. I don't think he's proud of getting technicals and things of that nature, but he runs hot. He runs hot, and he hates not playing well,
right.
And he hates losing. And sure, I think channeling that in a better way would be better, and I think he knows that. I don't need to tell him that. And I heard coming on, you guys mentioned that moment where he didn't get the foul call and
right.
got the tee, and reasons why those things matter now, or that our margin is thin.
Mm-hmm.
We're not playing so well that we can make mistakes and overcome them. We need to play smart, discipline, whether it's that or anything else, to win these road games. And you'd like to get every edge you can and not give any edge away. And so he's probably, that's more coming from his own personal frustration with not being the player he wants to be right now. And I think that's where some of that's bubbling out.
Bob Myers here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. For the executive show, he is the GM and president of basketball operations of the Golden State Warriors. So with that said, Bob, you look at the decision to shut down James Wiseman. Why the decision now to shut him down? And do you guys maybe look back saying, man, maybe we should have explored size? Or is that still an option to explore more size on this basketball team?
I mean, you can go back and look at a lot of different things. What we knew at the time or thought we knew was that he was coming back, that Draymond was maybe coming back a little sooner. Neither happened. Mm-hmm. I mentioned before I was asked about this, and we didn't have a great option to add a big that was better than what we had. And for a variety of reasons. One wasn't available. Really, the buyout market, there was a couple guys or one guy, but people didn't see great opportunity with our team. Mm-hmm. A lot of the people that bought out, not many of them want to play, which is understandable. And then the trading possibilities were somewhat limited because we don't have a lot of tradable contracts outside of our top guys, rookie scale, and Looney. The rest guys are minimums. You have to match salaries. So those all sound like excuses. I'd like to have more size. We thought that was coming with James. We're here now. If something came up in the next week or so where a player was playoff eligible, we'd look at it. But I don't know. Again, this is going to sound like I'm being defensive, but that's, to me, not our primary issue. We were the number one defensive team in the league for a good chunk of the year, without James, without any other bigs. We got to decide or figure out which team we are. I believe we're more that team than this team. Mm-hmm. But, what I believe isn't – of course I believe that. So we got to go out there and do it. And we have 7 games to play before the playoffs. And then that's it. Then there are no more kind of tune-up games or get-ready games. So we got to figure out how to get back to where we were. I think we can. And sometimes you got to climb through some adversity to get there.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And the main man being out, Steph Curry, it's part of the adversity. I was telling Bonta earlier today, 2011, 2012, they're 23-43. Curry only plays in 26 games. 2019, 2020, you don't need a reminder, but, you guys go 15-50, and he only plays in 5 games. When's he getting back? We need our superstar. Is there any update on Steph Curry's availability between now and the beginning of the postseason?
We're going to have an update this Friday, I think the 1st. And then I don't press Rick Celebrini every day or Steph. I see him in the facility because I didn't travel on the trip, and they're around, and Steph went to the NCAA games, so I saw him plenty. One thing, asking a guy every day when you're coming back.
Yeah, right.
That's annoying. But I understand. You guys got to ask. I get it. I want him back too. But I don't know as far as if it's when it'll be. I don't want to speculate. We'll find out more on Fridays. I think he's walking without pain, which is good. But people might hear that and say, "Well, that means he's going to play." You got to get back on the court and start running. And
right.
Yeah.
You'll see video of him. When it's the right time, you'll see him out on the court. That'll mean he's closer. The thing is, look, we need him back. Certainly, we need him back. We know how important he is, but we gotta figure out a way to help him out too. When he's hurt, we can't. We got to win some games. There's other players out. These teams find a way, and we. I don't think our team is using that as an excuse. I know that it's easy for me or people not coaching or playing to say we need Steph back. We do need him back, but in the meantime, we have to find ways to get our other guys performing good enough to win games. And until he gets back, that's the job. And then when he gets back, we'll plug him in. He clearly makes us better. That's obvious to everybody.
And then it sounds like Andre Iguodala's getting closer and closer to returning, right, Bob?
Yeah, he's definitely getting closer, and possibly he's going to see how he feels tonight and see if he can give it a go tonight. We have to see how he feels heading into the game and make that decision. I know he was questionable, I think, against the Wizards. We need him too.
Right.
And we need him to have a little time to acclimate and get back. As smart as he and Draymond are on the court, they need the physical side. It's not the mental side with either of those two. It's the physical side to catch up to their minds and what they're doing. But again, guys, the injuries are sure I could say that we've had a little bit of bad timing, but a lot of teams have this.
Right. Robert Williams, by the way, from the Boston Celtics, has just got reported 30 seconds ago that he's got a torn meniscus, so he's going to be out several weeks as the Celtics were surging near the top of the East. So to your point, Bob, yeah, injuries could come any moment and derail a season here, so we'll see how the Celtics respond to that one.
Yeah, the injury part, I would love it, and this is a fantasy deal, that if every team could go through the season and stay healthy. That's not reality, especially in football. Yeah. But in basketball, the hardest part for me, and this is selfish, and maybe fans too, but myself, at front office, is charged with building a team and hoping it's good enough or finding out that it's not. It's harder to do that when you're not healthy because, as you both know, you fall back on, well, if we'd have been healthy or this guy or that. And you don't know, right? It gives you an incomplete answer. If you're healthy and you lose, well, then you know what? You're not good enough. That's the bottom line. It's just you take that on the chin, you deal with it, and you move on. When you have injuries, it kind of gives you this built-in, I don't know, excuse or reason, but you have to decide how much does that reason matter, right? How much do you lean into that? Because we had some great teams, and again, having Durant covers up a lot, but we had series where Steph or Kevin missed the whole series, a playoff series, and we won. Now, that's a uniquely good team. That's unusual. But you have to be able to weather injuries to a certain degree. When Steph missed the whole year and Clay missed the whole year, there's nothing we can do to overcome that.
No.
But this year, my hope, and I think it's going to happen, is that we're going to be healthy, absent James, heading into the playoffs. And that'll be great to decide how good we are. I think we're going to be good. But then you have a sense of it. When you have these injuries, and that feel awful for the Celtics, who are playing maybe the best basketball in the NBA, to have something like that happen, because it is so fragile. In any sport, it is so fragile to get an injury and see how quickly things change.
You know, Bob, I appreciate you always coming on here, even after the rough couple of games. You're always got good spirits. Let's get into some positivity here, because the byproduct of a lot of these injuries, in a perverse way, like you've gotten a chance to see Moody. You've gotten a chance to see Jonathan Kuminga develop. And I think at the beginning of the year, most Warrior fans, and I'm sure the team felt this way, like, I don't know how much they can help us. Right. Now I'm looking at it, I'm saying, there's got to be a game or two where these guys are going to be able to be pushed into the lineup by necessity, foul trouble, injuries, or whatever. I think they could contribute in a playoff series. Do you think Kuminga and Moody's, their role can expand over these final 7 games as we get ready for the playoffs?
Well, expand is, I think they can find moments, and they're rookies. You're going to see games where they play really well, which you've both seen, and then ones where they're not as effective. I think the hardest thing for them and rookies is figuring out it, and veterans too, is when you're playing, when you're not, finding a rhythm, finding a group that you're comfortable with, and that's been the toughest thing for them, and maybe a lot of players on our team this year, is how much things have shifted due to injury. We haven't really had the same starting lineup as much as you'd like to have, that continuity. I think Steph, Clay, and Draymond, I don't think they've started the game together, and it trickles down from there, right? If you can't find that starting lineup and you can't find your bench, and then it's constantly shuffling in. Hard for veterans, hard for rookies. But yeah, simply put, I do think that those guys will have some moments in the playoffs, and that's great experience for both those guys, or any rookie, any young guy, any young player, even Jordan Poole, who will look to have a bigger role in the playoffs. He's never played in the playoffs if you take away the play-in. For an organization, that's all really formative stuff. I mean, people forget Steph, Clay, Draymond started out against Denver that year and beat them. And then, they play the Spurs, we lose. The Spurs were kind of the big brother.
I'm still mad about game 1, Bob. You guys had a 20-point lead. Ginobili hits that shot over Bazemore. Oh, you guys had him. Jefferson needs to hit a free throw.
That was tough. That one, when we lost that game, I was there, obviously. And then I thought, no, those are just gut punch games.
Yes. Right.
You have those in the regular season, but to have one in the playoffs, that coming back and winning game 2
was sick.
That told me, and should have told you guys as much as you needed to know about who Draymond, Steph, and Clay were, because that would have been easy. We shouldn't be there. These are the Spurs.
Right.
To just punt on game 2, but to win game 2, that kind of told me that this group might be able to do something, even though we lost that series, and even how we lost that series. Their Bogut's ankle was gone. Curry, we were so banged up that that it was almost like, let's just end this. Nobody was healthy.
Right.
I think Game 6, was it Game 6 at home?
Yeah.
Yes.
Harrison got a concussion. I mean, it was a mess.
Yep.
It was a mess. Anyways.
No doubt.
That was such
wasn't
a
the
fun
best?
run.
That was a fun run. That was the
such
first
a
run
fun
of the
run.
Baby Dubs. Of course, 2 years later, a championship comes back to the Bay Area for the first time since 1975. We're talking to Bob Myers, the GM and president of basketball operations of the Golden State Warriors. And Bob, you had a great weekend. I was out there at Chase Center. What a field. West Regional, Arkansas, Gonzaga, Duke against Texas Tech. We see Gonzaga get upset by Arkansas and Eric Musselman. Duke goes on to win. Duke played in San Francisco.
Cutting the nets down.
Cutting the nets down in San Francisco. As a city kid, I'd never seen Duke out here on the West Coast. I think they played at Oracle Arena once against Stanford when Stanford came back. But what a scene at Chase Center. And if anything, that environment, that vibe, it got me thinking about the playoffs coming up in 3 weeks for you guys. Chase Center's going to be rocking.
Yeah, it was fun. I was there on Thursday. I didn't go on Saturday because my daughter's birthday, but Thursday was...
Happy birthday.
Birthday. How old?
12-year-old.
12.
man.
Oh, yeah. About to be a
Get the phone.
teenager.
Did you get an iPhone?
Yeah, I'm pretty scared.
Oh, my
Yeah, I don't blame you. Hey, Bob, my daughter hasn't turned 16 months yet, and I'm already scared. I think about it every day.
Should be. By the
was so
time
deflated.
she's going to want a phone, man. Oh, buddy. No, but you know what? I'll tell you, the games were Chase Center. Again, I'm biased, but it was an amazing environment. I love going to the college stuff because, like you said, at the NFC Championship, you got the 49er fans and the Seahawks fans. I mean, the Rams fans. That back and forth stuff is cool because there's always energy. You know, when you play in an arena where it's not going well for the home team, it's kind of dead and quiet. But in the college atmosphere or in kind of a bowl game atmosphere where it's the back and forth, there's so much energy running through the building.
For sure.
And Duke's got a great alumni. I mean, I finally have submitted to the fact that Duke. I said to somebody, Dunleavy, who went to obviously.
Yeah, I saw Dunleavy on Saturday. I saw him with his wife and kids. Yeah.
Yeah, so I said, because Duke's pretty easy to hate.
Yeah.
Right.
And I said, I've realized I don't hate Duke. I said, it's just there's a few bad apples
Right.
for the good Duke guys. Because their network, hey, have your kids. I mean, if you could pick I would use UCLA's fantastic, awesome alumni. But getting to know some Duke people, they have an unbelievable, I'm envious. They're a connected group. And that's what you want. They all come together and they support their team, but the fact that Coach K has been there so long has allowed those players to form that fraternity. And I'm a little jealous. Like the same coach for that many years. You see Grant Hill, connect with this guy and Batty, and they have a really cool kind of camaraderie that's hard to find in sports because coaches don't stay that long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it with John Wooden when Bill Wall, all those guys got together. But it's hard to find, and it's pretty cool. And obviously, great story with Coach K winning and going to the Final Four in his last year.
Did Wooden and the bad guy ever come visit you? That's a story for another day.
No, I'm not a bad. They don't bag. There's nothing for me. If there was something to go around, I would probably be asked to put into the pot. Can you chip in?
Hey, so seeing all these games over the weekend, I said to B, I go, B, you're going to be out there doing the pre and post, and he's going to be in the suit all dapper. And I'm saying to myself, is there a spot for me inside a Chase Center if I'm using my media credential but wearing Warrior gear? Is that a faux pas? Can I get the Bob Myers stamp of approval to the rest of the brethren that are going to be looking down at me wearing Warrior gear as I'm chilling at Chase Center watching a playoff run?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, Bonta, why are you? You got to have guys like Joe in there.
He's going to be in there, just not around me. I don't. I just don't want to watch a game with Joe. He's freaking out 2 minutes into a game.
You can hang out with me. I don't do anything there either. We can.
So much anxiety coming from Joe. It's just exuding from his pores, Bob. Where he's just sitting there. Oh man, Klay Thompson missed the first shot of the game. I don't want to deal with that. It's a 48-minute game.
Hey, Klay's shot's looking good right now. I'm feeling good about Klay. When he gets that arc on it, it's looking real sweet right now. I'm feeling good.
You know what Shasky is? He's not boring. I'm bored. Sitting with Joe is at least interesting.
Thank you.
Right.
We would pair well. because you'd be the guy that was kind of over. I'd say, calm down.
Right.
You'd hit me and you go, you're excited we won. I'd be like, yeah, I got to get a little more.
Yeah, I like to. I'm kind of like you, Bob. I like to just chill.
That's a lie.
And watch the game and just relax.
This guy broke a hole in the wall during a Jimmy Garoppolo Week 3 game against the Detroit Lions 3 years ago.
Well, you're sitting with Shasky
true?
for. Well, no, I kind of bruised my knuckle because
Totally
Week 3
true.
against Detroit, an interception that didn't even count for that matter. Didn't even count. It got called back. But, Joe's in the lobby screaming, yelling around. I'm like, oh, my gosh, they're about to lose to the Lions. I have to do this show with Joe and all these mad 49er fans.
You guys grew up here.
I know.
This is your. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
I know.
Doing sports talk in the place you grew up, and you're there.
Thank you.
That's a lot of. I tell people, I'm the GM of the team. I grew up. That was my team. So sometimes it does overwhelm you.
Absolutely.
It does. It does.
Thanks for coming on,
Yeah,
Bob.
we're a
You're
little
always good
overwhelmed right
dude.
now, Bob.
I appreciate it.
Memphis tonight. Phoenix on Wednesday, and then a big one against Utah Saturday. 2 more back-to-backs. This is, of course, a back end of a back-to-back. So we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully Steph gets healthy, gets back in time for the playoffs, and hopefully Draymond can get going here down the stretch with 7 left to play. Bob, you're a good sport, man. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
for
Bob.
having me on.
Yeah.
All right, Bob. Anytime.